Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome into another edition of the Morning Edge DeadPresPicks, joined by my man Krabs Bets. A lot to get into today, Krabs. Thunderdome results, some big college games tonight. We're going to even touch on the XFL. Your DC Defenders last night, they showed out. Big time win for them. So,
Yeah,
first of all, how was your weekend, man? Good weekend betting and everything. How was it?
yeah. Definitely a good week betting. Swept yesterday, which
Love
was
that.
dope, and had a good day on Friday as well. Didn't win the Thunderdome. We'll get into that in a second. I came in a close second. Shout out to
Yes.
Gala being a plus money there on Friday.
Mhm.
But I'm starting to figure it out. All right, I'm,
Okay.
I'm coming for it this weekend. All right, I'll
Love
be
to
there
hear it.
contending.
Love to hear it. All right,
But
let's get into those Thunderdome results. All right, so Melissa's not
sure.
here, so she can't claim her win. I do want to point that out. Uh, she, she hit that.
So we
Melissa,
just split that unit between us then, since
yeah, I
she's
was
not
gonna
here
say,
to claim it.
we might be able to take this here. So, Melissa, congrats on her first Thunderdome win. By the way, just do want to point that out. I'm a little upset because the Oilers, Krabs. I don't know if you saw that game. They were up like 4-1. Ended up losing in overtime. Then my Kevin Herter bet. A lot of people out there are calling it the worst bet of all time. It's tough to argue. I think he ended up hitting like 3 or 4 in the whole contest. So that was bad. And then New Mexico came through for both of us. But how about yours? You go 2-1 there, but Wyoming let you down. I was on them too. What happened there? They didn't show out.
Yeah, they never show out on prime time. That's on
Nope.
me for
Yeah.
taking them.
Hmm.
They look terrible. They
Yeah.
lost outright. It is what it is. We move.
We move. But good hits there on.
Yep.
I tallied your Mount St. Mary's. My best friend actually went to the Mount. Very random school. It's the only
Let's
reason I
go the
went.
Mount.
Yeah. So
Love
some
it.
Mount love there. So and then New Mexico we both had. That was a beatdown too. Big time win.
Free.
That was free. And then you know what? I'll give Melissa her flowers for a second. Good hits. She did her thing. She always fades the Ducks -1.5. And then that when she came in with that Goff bet, I was scared because I was like, this is different for Melissa. So shout out to Melissa for slapping a couple bets and coming out of the
Yep.
Thunderdome live. Big time guest this week in the Thunderdome. We'll get into that as the week goes along. So keep your eyes posted. But we got some big guns coming in to the Thunderdome this week. I'm gonna do a quick recap here on my ladder picks for day 3, which hit. I went Kansas State and Arkansas money line. Not gonna lie, I didn't watch the Kansas State game at all. It's tough sometimes, you know, on a Saturday afternoon. Girlfriend dragged me to the mall. All I wanted to do was watch some hoops, but you know, you got to pick your battles, and that was when I lost. So I did not catch the either game, but I was following on my phone. I saw K State was down 8 at half. The anxiety kicked in a little bit, but you know what? I kept following the game on my phone. They ended up coming through, and then yesterday hit on the Cornhuskers, Nebraska +6. That game they were up all game. Then I saw Maryland went up like 7 at one point, but they pretty much covered the whole time. When it went to overtime, Krabs, I thought they were dead. We know the dogs in
Yeah.
overtime they die. So, but shout out to Nebraska, pretty good game. Fading Maryland there. I thought that was a good spot. Maryland coming off that big win over Purdue, so we got
Oh
to
yeah.
give that there. All right, let's get into a little XFL talk, Krabs. You placed any bets this weekend in the XFL?
So I did kind of nothing big. I want to be capping XFL, but I want to be watching it a little bit before I be
Yeah,
giving out bets to others. So I was just kind of doing the eye test the first 3 games. And I was sitting there last night. I was like, you know what? The Defenders are coming up. That's my team. The stadium was absolutely electric, and it
yeah.
was the prime time game. I was like, I'm going to throw a little bit on the Commanders ML. So I took them at +120 or whatever, got them, and that was like the game of the week. That was incredible last night. You see that?
Yeah. I did. I watched that whole game. So that was insane. I had them +2.5. The cool thing, if you guys haven't watched the XFL, when they score, you can go for 1, 2, or 3. So like point spreads are insane. Like you're not going to see a lot of 3-point wins. Like it's not like the NFL where you kind of know what you're getting. Like betting
Mhm.
point spreads in this league is very, it's fun, but it's tough because like who knows when the Sea Dragons were scoring last night, they were like, all right, we'll just keep going for 3. And the one
Mhm.
time they got it. So like if you guys didn't watch the game, the Sea Dragons had the ball the 1 or 2 yard line with like 20 seconds. Ben
Yep.
DiNucci, who is a former Dallas Cowboy, I'm sure a lot of NFL fans remember that name. He just ends up fumbling the ball on the 1, like just completely gave the game away. And then the defenders won. But like if they scored a touchdown there, right? the spread would have been it wouldn't like it would have went to 24-22, and they probably go for one there, I would guess. Like it would have been fun to watch the spread. If you guys didn't watch that Battlehawks game, insane. Krabs, I don't know if you caught that at all. They were
I saw
down.
your tweet. I saw your tweet about it.
It was
Nuts.
insane. It
Yeah.
was insane. They were down like what 12, I think, with like a minute 30, and then they won by 3. And
Crazy.
if people are asking how in the XFL, if you score instead of onside kicking, you can go for 4th and 15. Like I think it's from your own 25. So just wild rules that make it fun. But yeah, I mean, my thoughts on the XFL, Krabs. I don't know about you. You can't go in obviously comparing it to the NFL. It'll never touch the NFL.
Mhm.
The NFL is king. But if you just go in with like, all right, this is just fun and I can bet on it kind of approach, I think people are going to like it a lot. I mean, it's football and it gets you
Yeah.
through April, right? I mean, the league goes pretty long. I think it's like 10 weeks and then playoffs. So why not? I think people who aren't betting it need to look in the mirror and
They
it's
need to grow
football.
up a little bit. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, DiNucci throwing touchdown passes on the run, like Mahomes style to Josh Gordon. That's not something I expected yesterday. That happens. Or how about DiNucci fumbling, like you said, on the one for the defenders to win? How about the defenders fans throwing lemons on the field when they're
Dude, the
pissed that
Lions were
the
insane.
security took away their beer snake? Did you see
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. I was looking for you in
Nuts.
the crowd. I thought it might have been you getting in there.
I
I didn't
know, dude. My buddies were roasting me. They're like, "Why aren't you here?" I was like, "I messed up. I should have came. I didn't know it was gonna be that electric." So
yes.
I might
Yeah.
have to go next time they have a home game because that place was packed.
Yeah, I mean,
Packed.
DC's not too far from me. I think I'm gonna have to get out to a home game this year because like that's the only, that's probably the closest team. I did anoint myself a Houston Roughnecks fan before the season started because they have Hawaii legend Cole McDonald, and in
Hmm.
my college days betting on Hawaii late at night, I mean that was peak gambling. So I had to give him some love, and then they run it up a little bit. So shout out to the Roughnecks. That was a good game. And that Vipers Renegades game was great too. That came down to like they had a chance to tie the end. So a lot of really entertaining games. Again, give the XFL a chance if you haven't. And the other thing, Krabs, they really talk about gambling the whole game. I don't know if you
Yeah.
listen to the broadcast. I mean, they're all in on it. They cover the point spreads, the over under. So like this is pretty much a gambler's heaven. I mean, it's football, and they love to talk about gambling. So I think it's time to watch. I think it's time to get into it. But like you said, I'm happy you're going to cap the league as well because we'll get some show bets going. But it'll be a
100%.
fun season. Yeah, it'll be a fun season.
Yep.
All right, let's turn to a little college basketball here. So
Mm.
interesting weekend. A lot went down. We kind of talked through. You and I both had a good weekend in college basketball. I want you to respond to this with your top 5. So I pointed out, got a little graphic up here. Shout out to Nigel for the nice graphic. But UCLA I got as my 1. My 2 I got Kansas, 3 Baylor, 4 Houston, 5 Alabama. So I love UCLA. I love their ability to defend. Veteran team that's been. They have guys that have been in the Final Four, right, on that roster, Jaquez and Tiger
Mhm.
Campbell. They have a lot of experience there. I love Mick Cronin. That Kansas Baylor game was outstanding. I was on the Jayhawks -4 pregame, and then I jumped on the money line. It was a game that it was like a heavyweight fight, right? Baylor threw the first big punch, Kansas responded, and then they were ultimately able to get it done. I think they're 2 of the 3 best teams in the nation. I really do. I think Baylor's guard play is outstanding. And then they just have Keontae George, one of the best freshmen in the nation. They have big men who, again, we talk about experience all the time with March. They have guys that have been part of a national championship team, right? And I mean, you have a head coach. Both of these teams have had coaches who've won national championships. I love them. Houston, I think you got to give them respect. It's tough with Houston. Some people look at them like they don't really play anyone. It's a fair point. But when they've been tested, I think they've been pretty good. They did lose to Temple. That's a tough loss on their resume, but bad losses happen. And then 5, I got Alabama. I think in terms of pure talent, you can make a case they're 1. I just think experience will catch up to them a little bit. I think Miller's one of the best players in the nation. Love Nate Oates. And the other thing with Bama, Krabs, obviously we always talk about their offense, but they have a really good defense. So, I mean, if they can turn things up in March, they're going to be a tough team to knock off. But that's my top 5. What do you got if you had to mock up a top 5 right now?
Yeah, and I think you're pretty much there. I think the only team I would probably swap in. I mean, at this point of the season, a lot of these teams are starting to kind of like fall off a little bit or readjust. I mean, should Purdue be in there? I don't know. That's when it gets kind of sus.
Yeah.
And then another team would be Texas, who I think is
Yes.
borderline top 5, and I think is extremely underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I know they don't have Chris Beards, and they're rolling with their interim coach, but hasn't really seemed to get in their way much this season. And I think, roster-wise,
Yeah.
chemistry-wise, it's night and day from last year, Texas, when they still made the tournament, but really didn't have a solid team. This year, it looks like it's completely different now with a lot of new pieces. So I think that Texas team deserves to probably be in here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Purdue, after 2 losses in their last 4 games, they probably deserve to be sitting out right now.
Yeah.
Not like they're in the SEC. So
Right.
I think we probably leave those top 3 there, leave Houston there, and then I probably would put Texas in there at 5 instead of Bama.
Yeah.
I need to see a little bit more out of Brandon Miller
Mm-hmm.
recently, I think. But
Yeah.
Nate Oates has the full package. He's got a team that can do a little bit of everything, and he's got a young freshman phenom. So who knows?
They're loaded. Yeah, they're loaded. I mean, it's tough because you're splitting hairs. I was actually, it's funny you say that. I was between Texas, one of the two that I was going to put in. Someone just asked, what do you think about Miami? We've talked about Miami a couple times. I know we've only done
good
together, but I think they have one of the best offenses in the nation. I mean, I think Miami, they could be a buzzsaw to run into a mark. So, I mean, that could be a team that pulls off some upsets, makes a Final Four run. The last point I will say, too, with Purdue Krabs, a little concerned that they're playing their worst basketball going into March. You know what I mean? Like, this is when you want to hit a stride. Baylor's hitting that stride right now. UCLA, Kansas right now. So a little concerned with that because if you can take Zach Edey out of the game, which is tough, but if you double him and just say someone else beat us, I don't think Purdue has the guard play to make a deep run. So, yeah, I'm concerned with those guys at the guard position. Edey gets in foul trouble. I mean, there's a lot of ways to beat Purdue. I don't think there's that many ways to beat these top 5 teams on the list because they have multiple guys who can come at you. Some people didn't love the Texas over Bama, but I agree. I mean, I think it's a very fair debate. I was between Texas and Bama. I mean, I think it was one or the other.
Another team that doesn't deserve to be in here yet, but should be like on the lookout. Marquette. Marquette is the most consistent. They're getting there for me. They don't make mistakes. They're well coached. Their offense is smooth as silk. Yeah. And they have 1 through 5. They got every position pretty much settled. So that's a team that if they continue to take care of business, I know they're in the Big East, but they don't make mistakes and they don't turn the ball over. So that's a team to keep your eyes on.
All right, I like that a lot. I mean, that came out of nowhere. I think that's definitely a sleeper for sure. I'll keep my eyes on them. Mm-hmm. I did tweet them early in the year as like a possible future bet, but I might have to hop on them. Just trying to keep up with the comments, guys. I'm sorry we can't touch on every comment. We will try to get as many as possible. Indiana Krabs, you think I don't think they have a legit. Although Trey Jackson Davis right now, I mean, he's taking his play to a different level.
He's legit, but the rest of the team disappears at times, and like if he can't beat Northwestern on his own, how is he going to beat Alabama on his own, or how is he going to beat Houston on his own?
Yeah. Yeah, great point. All right, well, we'll obviously continue with these. We'll continue with these as the year goes along. How many weeks? I think almost about 2 weeks right now till Selection Sunday. I think yesterday was 3 weeks. Today. It's getting there, man.
We are, I think, 3 weeks exactly from yesterday. Selection Sunday.
Best time of year, isn't it? Yeah. Conference tournaments coming up. I mean, as me and you are both really into college basketball, but any sports fan, I mean, this time of the year just got to get you excited. There's college. I think I like the conference tournaments just as much because they're on all day. Like at 12 p.m. Syracuse Georgia Tech game, nothing gets you fired up like that. So ready for that as well. All right, guys, that's going to be our top 5. Like I said, Krabs and I will continue to discuss this as the weeks go along into March. All right, Krabs, here's a new segment we're adding, a little trivia time. So me and you know the answer, so we cannot participate, sadly. Okay. But anyone in the comments can. So I need you guys to listen clearly to this. It's whoever comments first. I understand there's like 90 comments coming at once. It doesn't matter. It's whoever comments first. If you want to use Google, you want to be that guy that kind of cheats, you're probably going to lose because you don't have time to log out and get back in. So this is going to be the trivia question. The winner of this gets a free week of OC Premium, which means all picks across all platforms. So make sure you guys enter this as soon as possible. Here's the trivia question right here on the screen. All right. So how many undefeated college basketball teams have won the national title? All right, that's simple. It's a simple question. It's just a number. You don't have to list the teams out, right? We just want a short answer. We don't need the long answers here. But it's a simple question. So, how many undefeated teams have won the national title? All right, I'm gonna start reading. We're getting a lot of comments, but we're on a little bit of a delay, so I'd give the comments like 30 seconds to see who we got here. Big question. I don't want to say it. It's less than you would think, Krabs. I will say that.
Well, it's got to. I mean, to go undefeated the whole year, but there's got to be some from like back in the day, like before
we were alive. We got a 4 that's incorrect, 1 incorrect, 3 incorrect, 2 incorrect, 2 incorrect, 3 incorrect, 6 incorrect, 2 incorrect, 1 incorrect, 1 incorrect, 1, 3, 1. 7. Yep, 7. All right, so DFS Lover 28 wins. All right, so we got his. So there it is. Yeah, a lot of
UCLA. Not really surprising there.
Go back, Krabs. You kind of mentioned it. So DFS Lover 28. You were the winner. Please DM me DFS Lover 28, and then you can enter. Now all the 7s came in, Krabs. You see this? There's more. I've never seen so many 7s in my life.
It's the Google crowd.
Bro, the late sharps are hammering 7 after seeing the answer already. Sure.
Late sharp money is in on 7. Wow.
Hey, a funny team on here to point out though. Sorry, I'm a little sick, but San Francisco with Bill Russell.
I was going to say Bill Russell's team. Yeah.
People forget he went to San Francisco. Wild.
Yeah. I mean, you get the blue bloods of the blue bloods, right? You get UCLA, UNC, Indiana, and then you get San Francisco on the list.
They were probably so freaking good when they had Bill Russell for those couple years. They were probably beating the crap out of everybody.
Yeah. You want to hear something funny? They were undefeated, and he was not voted the best college basketball player in California that year because they gave it to a white guy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. The Bill Russell doc that just hit Netflix is pretty good. Anyone who loves basketball should give it a watch. Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Russell 100% should have won that. I mean, that's definitely crazy though. 7 times, that's more. Actually, I should have said the other way. That's actually more than I thought. Like going undefeated the whole college. Just think of like today's college game. Like Texas Tech comes in last seed in the Big 12. They beat. You know what I mean? Like they beat Kansas at home. Like. The game's, obviously more teams now. The game has gotten more difficult. We know that, but man, that's crazy. But yeah, those UCLA teams, look at that. At 4 times.
They were the absolute wagon back in the day.
Imagine betting on them. They probably would have made us quite a lot of money back in those days.
We'd be huge UCLA fans. Yeah.
Big UCLA. So shout out to UCLA to the list. We got a lot of answers. I think we had over 200 people answer, and 100 of them said 7 after the guy got it. But we appreciate the participation. We're going to start doing these as much as possible. We're going to try to do them daily. People keep saying I was the first, but that's just how the game works. We don't. This is whoever shows up first. It is not rigged. We're not rigging this. All right, let's move along before people think we're rigging the Krabs. We're going to get into the final segment for tonight.
Let's go.
It's going to be the big games of the night. So I'm gonna hook this up. Our best bets of the night. Let's get right to it. We got 2 for you guys. Krabs, you want to start us off? What are we looking at?
Yeah. You want me to give my play of the day?
It's that time, right, Nigel? Are we there yet?
Yeah, we're there. Let's go. Best bets.
It's about that time. Well, I'm going with the Horned Frogs after they put up, 100 pace in their last game? Did I see triple digits in that game?
You did.
I did? You can confirm?
Yes,
look, Kansas, let's not act like they're not on absolute fire too. And look, for them to win the championship last year, lose all their guys, come back this year, be 22-5, lead the league in Q1 wins. I'm pretty sure they have 13 Q1 wins this season now after their win this weekend, which is just absolutely bonkers. But now they're going to TCU, a team that, I know they're coming off a nice little win there. But before that, Matt, they lost 4 games in a row. They were hurt, banged up, not playing well. But look, now they're healthy, right? Mike Miles back. He's their best player. They need him. And Lampkin should be back too. So fully healthy TCU team. To me personally, like we talked about last week, I think this team is just as good as any other team in the Big 12, straight up. When they're healthy, they're one of the best teams in the country. Hence why I just took them in the future. And hence why they're the favorite today against Kansas after Kansas just beat Baylor in the game of the year over the weekend, right? Seeing Kansas as an underdog in this spot is kind of bonkers, if you ask me. So I'm rolling with TCU after putting up 100 piece, playing their best game of the season. Now they're back. Now they're healthy. They're a favorite at home. Kansas and Grady Dick might struggle a little bit on the road here tonight.
Yeah. All right. I like that. I do want to point out too, Krabs. Someone just commented, TCU, they did win the first game at Kansas too, right? So they're going for a season sweep, which I think makes it even a little more crazy that we see TCU as favorite, because sometimes you see the line adjust, right? Like in a game like that. And I do want to point out, as of like 10 minutes ago, 70% of the bets on DraftKings on Kansas money line, and yet the line is continuing to move to TCU. So a lot of things that I agree with there with the Horned Frogs. We're reading the comments. A lot of people, we saw some people locking Kansas early. It's never too late to cash out of that bet, right? And bear that money on TCU. I'm telling you, it's a. I agree. I think it's a good spot for TCU, man. I do. I think it's going to be a good game. Like you said, Kansas comes in hot too. I just had Kansas number 2 in my top 5. Outstanding team, but it's all about the spot. That's
this is no hate on Kansas whatsoever. I'm impressed with Kansas. I had them against Baylor this weekend. Yeah. This is just TCU is cracked and they're healthy and they're back and they're a favorite against Kansas bet is what it is.
Yeah. And when Miles is in the lineup, I compare it to any star being out on any team, right? I mean, he's the heartbeat of the team. So yeah, when he was out, man, they struggled. I think they only scored over 70 like once or twice in his absence. Lost every game in February up to that point, but then a beat down over Oklahoma State. I think they bounced back. All right, guys, here's the official time. It's time to go. Day 4 ladder pick, baby. Here we go. So we're going to start this thing. We're going to start it just where you were. Or no, we're going to actually start this in Morgantown. We're going to start this in Morgantown first. We're going to go West Virginia -2 to kick us off. So this is an alt spread, obviously. This is on Barstool Sportsbook, but this is going to get us to the number that we need. West Virginia -2 on the alt spread. All right, so West Virginia, they just lost a bad game at home to Texas Tech. They are a bubble team at the moment, and they desperately need to win this game tonight. They're a tough team at home. They always play their best basketball in front of their home crowd. I trust them tonight. I think they get it done. Here's the thing with this game. If West Virginia loses this game, they might take themselves off the bubble and out of the tournament. After this game also, they have an extremely difficult schedule, so this is a true must-win game. Oklahoma State has struggled on the road this season. Big 12 home teams, they've just been money. I mean, it's really as simple as that. Sometimes it's just that easy. I think tonight, West Virginia covers the actual spread at 5, but I think taking them in a lay there at -2 is the smart move. I'm going to trust them on this number. So we're going to go West Virginia. We're going to take them -2 to kick us off. And then we're going to go with TCU, who you just touched on. And, Krabs, we're getting them a +6.5. So pretty crazy line on a parlay. So I agree with you, Krabs. I do think TCU wins the game outright. I've touched on this yesterday a little bit. As I went on, I wrote up an article on it. I think TCU does win this game outright. This is a huge game for them. They're going to be a tournament team no matter what. Nobody's debating that. But look at TCU's schedule moving forward, too. They have really difficult games down the stretch. This is a game that if they win tonight, they're going to be able to push themselves back up on that line of being a 5 seed, 4 seed type of thing. If they lose this game, all of a sudden you look up and they're going to probably be back to a 6 or 7, and that plays big. Like, they don't want to fall into that 7 or 8 line come March. So this is a big game for them. Getting Miles back in the lineup is pivotal. When he's in the lineup, I mean, this is a team that I think they can play with anyone, right, in the nation, not only the Big 10 or Big 12, sorry. So I think TCU's in a really good spot tonight. The last point I will make, the line, we see 70%, like I said, 70% of the bets on Kansas as public money coming in, and the line has continued to move towards TCU. I think it's up to like -130-ish kind of range. So the line has continued to jump throughout the day. I love this spot tonight for the Horned Frogs. Don't donate to the books tonight with Kansas. Just don't do it. It looks easy, right? I don't think it's Kansas. I think I'm very confident. But for this bet to be +6.5, I mean, come on. That's pretty – we're not asking a lot out of you, TCU. Just keep the game close.
I love this ladder that you put together. I think this is sharp as a tack. These are probably my 2 favorite CBB plays of the day that you just made at way better odds. You're getting TCU +6.5 instead of ML, and you're getting WV -2 instead of -5, and you're getting plus check. So I absolutely love it.
All right, I love to hear that. All right, so Krabs is in on it. We hope all of you are trying to keep up with what you guys are saying in the chat. Mike Miles, yeah, like they like a lot of people liking these picks, Krabs. So hopefully we're getting in. You do have a TCU future, correct? Someone asked.
Oh, yeah? I got
Yeah.
TCU. I got Creighton. Who
All
else
right.
do I got? That might be it for right now. I think that's all I got in right now.
That's enough for now. It's not quite March yet.
I like to – so for college basketball, I never rush the futures.
Yeah.
They have to age like fine wine. Some of these teams do. So, but around this time of the year, we have a pretty good feel of how, consistent or decent these teams are. But like people taking futures before the season or early on, I mean, to each his own. To each his own. Good luck. It's still a fat future. It's still crazy chances, right? I like to see at least like half the year and see what's good with these teams first.
Yeah.
People are asking, hey Matt, people are asking what you are at the ladder. I just checked just to let everyone know. It's at $82.46. That's your bet today.
Okay, so there we go. So just to confirm, $82.46 if you want to be dead on with the ladder, and then that'll get us to day 5. So that's the hope. Obviously, not a ton to bet on right now because there's no NBA. So kind of a small college slate. How about college baseball, Krabs? You ever get into that, or have you? You do college lacrosse, right?
Yeah, I do a little more lacrosse than college baseball, but I did do a little bit of college baseball tournament stuff. Again, that's a sport that I'm just not as knowledgeable about, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I need to wait until, they get into the tournament where I have a little bit of a database or sample of some of these teams for the year. I don't have time to know about all these teams.
I was tweeting about that too, though. I think that the fault of that, because you're a big MLB guy, right? Like I'm big into the NBA. I think it's like the way they advertise college baseball is just very poor. Like, why get it on TV? You know what I mean? I think people would watch it. It's on ESPN Plus, but like if it was on more, I bet people would 100%. And it's on like all day. So like put it on like ESPNU at 12 p.m. Who's not betting that? You know what I mean? Like just get it on TV. Give people an opportunity. So I think the product of college baseball is there. I just think it's somewhat poor advertising by that. Let me take over the committee. I'll get it to where it needs to go. But
give them those juice baseballs that the Yankees were using last year.
That was fun, right? Yeah. They cut them off as we saw at the end of the year. The Yankees had how to hit, but yeah, give them some juice balls. Excited, obviously. That kind of teases us. MLB season's coming up, Krabs. Excited to hop into that as well. So we're gonna start dropping some futures and everything with that as the season moves along. Just one more time before we get into the final segment, which is just a giveaway. Krabs best bet of the night, TCU money line, -118 on FanDuel. And then my ladder day 4 pick, West Virginia -2. And then we get TCU +6.5. Someone said they're doing TCU -4.5 and West Virginia -5. That's going to get you a good price, right? TCU -4.5. That's probably gonna fire them up. So,
oh yeah.
I like that. Who is?
I'd say you skip a couple pieces on that ladder is what you do with that. Yeah. He's going day 3 to day 7.
He's a fast climber. Yeah, I mean, hey, some of us are quicker than others. WVU is West Virginia, by the way, -2.5. I hate this question just because Duke has given me PTSD of it. I mean, I think -2.5 is okay, but if they win by 2, I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Like it's a push. It's a push for me. Yankees are not winning the World Series this year. I'm sorry to say, whoever said that. This happens every year. All right, final segment before we get out. It is President's Day, guys, as you all know. So here at the Morning Edge, we're giving away $220. Let me just tweet it out real quick so I let the people know. Here's how you enter it. You just like and follow. So this is our Instagram, right? At OddsChecker. Yeah. So this is our Instagram. So at OddsChecker US on IG. It's the same handle, so at OddsChecker US on Instagram. Very simple rules, like the post, any post, and then follow the Instagram, and then you're entered in. So 220 in honor of President's Day. Big President's Day for us here at OddsChecker. So let's get into it. Everybody enter, and that's going to be all. We appreciate everyone's comments today. We had some great interaction. We apologize again. We can't get to them all, but if you guys have any questions on any games tonight, drop them in the comments. We'll try to touch on it after this. And let's get a sweep tonight, Krabs. What do you think? A little sweep?
Why not us?
Yeah, why not us?
This is what the TCU people do. This is what I fucking saw for the last 3 months while they were winning every football game. One of these fucking things, little frog guys.
Those killed me. Because I would always fade TCU, and I'd always have to see the little stupid frog thing. So I'm
Yeah.
with you.
But
Tonight
today we're one with the Bronx.
we're throwing
Okay.
them out. That's how you
Let's
do
get
it.
after it. Sure.
All right, guys. Well, we'll be back tomorrow morning. Everybody have a great President's Day. Let's cash in. Let's cash some tickets. Remember, early NHL too, so stay posted for that. Got some puck picks dropping.
There you go.
Let's have a day. Take care, guys.